We're so snuggly here.
I know.
That's
I'm
great.
trying to stay
No,
out of
I
your
love
way.
it. Let's go. Let's snuggle.
Thanks, everyone. We will get started. And joining us from North Carolina is head coach Courtney Banghart, along with student athletes Nyla Harris and Elina Aarnisalo.
Good job. Nice.
If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we will bring a mic over to you. Please introduce yourself and let us know who you're with. We also have the Zoom link, and if time allows, we will take some questions from those on the Zoom. Coach, would you like to start us off with an opening statement?
Sure. Yeah. Certainly this is the best time of the year. Obviously want to thank the tournament as a whole. It's a lot to put on this many good teams, and it's such an exciting time of year. And so thanks for what you guys are doing in that way. You really should hear from these two. We knew this was a tough game. We knew that this is a team we had to beat in overtime to even be in this position. And we keep talking about the most dangerous teams keep getting better. And obviously, based on the result, we keep getting better. So really physical battle. Hats off to Duffy. She's got her group playing really hard. These guys are hard to guard. They put a lot of pressure on the rim and the paint. And we just kind of had to keep finding a way, which we did. So I'm really proud of you two for what you've done, as well as your teammates. And so far, that's one.
Questions?
John Kinney, Wake Forest Radio. Nyla, I know you just won, but what does it mean to you to be able to face your former team, Louisville, for a chance to go to the conference championship?
Yeah, I know when I went into the portal, I had the opportunity to go to a whole different conference, so many different conferences, but I wanted to come back, not because, being petty. It was more because Coach Walls has such a great program, and I know that playing against them, I'll get better, and I wanted to be able to face that throughout my course of my season, and I'm excited to play them tomorrow. I think my teammates are as well, and we're ready to get back. I mean, there's nothing really much to say except just being ready for tomorrow, and they're a great team, and so are we, so yeah.
Landon Weaver, 3304 Sports. This is for the players. Guys, Virginia Tech got within 10, 12 points a few times in the second half. What did you guys say in your huddles to come together and make sure that they didn't get any closer?
I think for us it was mostly about being tough, but noticing the foul calls and being aware of that. We struggled that a little bit today. But just staying together, knowing what we need to do, box out, rebound, that was like all the emphasis in every huddle.
Yeah. Just a second, what she said, just being together. In this part of March, it's going to be ugly, it's going to be pretty, but it's about staying together, playing tough, and I think that's the way we overcame that, was just playing through it and trusting each other and just holding each other accountable to when we didn't make the right plays or we were being lazy on defense.
Courtney, down 16-11 after the first quarter. What adjustments did you make to get your offense revved up the rest of the game?
Yeah, he said before the game that, I know there's been some talk about it. Do you want the double bye because you get the, you come out of the gate a little bit. You haven't played since Sunday. They've been in the gym. And so I sort of planted that seed that there's a possibility that we kind of got to find our legs. And so once we did that, I liked a lot of the takes. I showed some of them at halftime. We just didn't make them. And I thought I was more concerned about the fact that we gave up 16 points, and I thought they were ones that we could have gotten back. So, I thought they made some key plays, but for the most part, that slow start, I'm just going to say, I think it was it's just, these guys get really excited. They're finally, here in March, and just came up a little bit, we're a little bit off rhythm, but stuck to the game plan, and we were all right.
Alexandra Jones, the Daily Tar Heel. For Nyla and Elina, Courtney talked about that defense a little bit. In the second quarter, y'all held Virginia Tech to only 3 made field goals and also only 2 3-pointers all game. What did kind of those defensive adjustments look like, and how does that feel kind of happening there?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think just the biggest thing for us was just, like I said before, just playing hard, sticking to our game plan, our defensive plan, and trusting it. They're gonna score some tough ones. We're gonna not score some tough ones, and I think just the biggest thing for us was just sticking to the game plan, being aggressive on screens, and it was gonna fall. Yeah, that's really all I have to say.
No, I agree. Everything that you said, like sticking to the game plan, and just trusting it. And that worked in our favor today.
Robbie Ackerley, 3304 Sports. Coach, first time you played Virginia Tech, it was a 3-point overtime victory. What did you guys do differently this time around to get the more decisive victory?
Yeah, it's a really good team. We've had a lot of history with this program, and we just didn't think we played great the first time out. And we've said kind of all along that the best teams keep getting better, and so we kind of were able to look back at that game and show areas where we knew we could get better and be better. This time around, there's an assuredness of our upperclassmen that they bring. I mean, it's still, I think we're like the 7th youngest team in the country or whatever it is, but. That's a big asterisk next to having Nyla Harris and India Navarre on your team, right? And so we thought we could be better at on the defensive end, taking away some different things. We lost Karis a little bit too much in the first game. We really handled Carly fine, but we allowed their other speedy guards to get into the paint, and so we really prioritized playing better on that side. But offensively, we also wanted to pick on whether or not they were going to hug Laney, and I think there were times where they hugged Laney, and we were able to play out of that, and other times they were into switch, and we played out of that. And these guys just have really figured out how you're going to guard us. We're going to be able in lifetime to handle that, and that's been fun to coach.
Hi, Coach Pam Smith with the Sports Shop in Raleigh, North Carolina.
And a former Tar Heel.
That's right, former Tar Heel. So you talked about other teams, and you guys are one of those that are peaking now, and you're doing a lot better. And so what do you contribute to all that growth in addition to preparing for this game?
Yeah, resiliency, connectedness. Each team finds their identity at a certain time, right? And, we've won 13 of our last 14 games. Right, against really good teams on the road. I think 3 of the last 4 or 3 of the last 5 were quad 1 wins. I mean, we're just better than we were in December. We're more assured. Elena's more aggressive. Our freshmen are better. We've been through more stuff. We only have 2 upperclassmen typically in a uniform or 3. And so we just had to kind of get through some stuff and figure out who we were going to be and how we were going to get through with resilience and connectedness. So we're just a way better team than we were in December. And that's why you just keep getting better. So, yeah, I would say that. Thanks.
Jack Morris, Daily Tar Heel. Courtney, Elena and Laney, I think they combined for 39. What did you see out of the guards tonight? And how effective are they when they're not only hitting big shots but getting downhill as well?
Yeah, I think Laney had a quick trigger today, and they gave her some space to begin with, and she hasn't had much space, so I think she was excited about that and was trigger happy and trigger ready. Made some big shots, and then when you have good shooters in, it spaces the floor for E. And then you have these bigs that can separate out of screens more, which we weren't doing earlier in December. And when we got E, we told her, I'm going to put the ball in your hands, and I need you to be able to be aggressive and make plays. And she's like Nyla. They're like the nicest kids, so they first want to fit in and all that. And I think now we got great shooters, and so if you're gonna guard the arc, we're gonna come at you in the middle of the floor or off of, and we're gonna let E go to work. If you're gonna double the post, we're gonna hurt you from the arc. And these guys have done a good job at reading that in lifetime.
David Cunningham, Tech Sideline. Courtney, you mentioned prioritizing Tech's guards outside of Wenzel. Wenzel had 26, but nobody else had double figures. What did you like about how your players kind of locked into that part of the scout?
Yeah, they just every time out, they're just staring right at you. They'd realize that we all have a piece and a role in this team, and then my role is to make sure that I can in lifetime help them see what's going well and what's not going well. And Wetzel got a lot of those at the free throw line, so she got 14 of them at the free throw line. She got 2 on baseline out of bounds when we didn't get into bodies and we gave her easy pull-ups, and so that's 4 plus 14 is 18. So 18 of her 26 over a 37-minute. I thought we did a good job on her too. Their guards are really speedy, so you have to play underneath them as quick as you can. And so, we were able to use our depth and get underneath them better, which was good. We have bigs that can move, which helps. But yeah, they're hard to guard. Their guards are hard to guard. We had to stay underneath them as best we could. We did the best we could.
Alexandra Jones, the Daily Tar Heel. Courtney, what were you seeing from your team on in that second quarter, especially from a defensive standpoint, but also 29 points in that quarter going from 11 to 29?
Yeah, well, it's a good question because we finally got stops in the second quarter, which allowed us to get out and go. And then again, you have to decide, are you going to run to the arc? Because we're going to have guys that are going to run to the arc, or are you going to run to the paint? Or we're going to play 1v1 in the post, or you're going to try to match up and sag, in which case E's going to kind of get you on your heels. And so when we were able to get stops, we felt confident that these guys kind of find their rhythm. And again, I think when we look back at the things I'm not going to like are the passing turnovers, right? I'm not going to like the times that we kind of threw it off on one foot. But I liked a lot of looks in the first quarter. We weren't making them, and then we weren't getting stops. And that part. And then they were kind of looking to me to kind of help call through the game. And I think I just tried to implore that you are the game plan. That is the game plan, right? And they took that to heart.
Last question.
Marissa Sisk, her hoop stats. Hi, guys. Nyla, you kind of already answered this, but obviously you beat Virginia Tech right up, but you lost the game to Louisville that you guys probably want back. Elina, you and Renee looked like combined for 1 for 15. What are kind of some of the things you're going to take from that film tomorrow, or to kind of get your lick back a little bit tomorrow? Obviously, in a game you guys kind of didn't play very well, I think is how Coach put it.
Wow. Well, I didn't even remember about that stat, but I think also like it's been a while since we played that game. Since like I didn't remember that really.
It was the first game of the season.
Yeah, like so I think like we're gonna come out tomorrow. It's a new game, new opportunity. You know, we're gonna be aggressive. It doesn't really matter what happened in the last game. It's a new opportunity, and we've got so much better since our game. We've got so much closer, the players and the coaches together, and just improved every single game. So I think that gives us a great like starting point. And how do you say it in English? Great point to go to the game tomorrow.
Good English. I thought you were going to ask us about hosting because I think we've keep winning 13 of 14, and again, this is a really good team. I think we've done a lot of good work, and I'm super proud of you guys to put yourself in that position when you start. I've said it even when we were at UCLA to start the season, or at South Carolina. It was like, guys, I'm not worried about what's happening right now. I'm worried about, can we continue to stack minutes? And finally, it's a team over the last month and a half, we've really stacked minutes.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to let these ladies go. The locker
Me
room will be open. Yes.
Oh, awesome. I love you guys, but out.
And you let me know if you will be going to the locker room, so we'll know to keep it open.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
You did a great job with that pronunciation.